Hey, what's up, Heidi? Welcome to this tutorial. So in this tutorial, we're going to be learning Django. So basically, it's a Django crash course. So this tutorial, we're going to be covering the basics of how to create a CRUD application, load static file, make use of models, create migrations, and also admin. Creating a super user file admin. Alright, so this course covers everything the beginners needs to know when wanting to start with Django. So if you're hyped for this tutorial, make sure you like, subscribe, you know what, let's just dive into it. Okay, so first thing I want to go ahead and do is go ahead and open your terminal. So you can go ahead and do Windows R. So that's your start key plus the R key. Now click on CMD here, or you can go ahead to your Windows bar, search for CMD. Alright, so once you're here, you can go ahead and do so let me just this here. So let's go ahead and do pip install. So what are we trying to install? We want to install Django. So let's go ahead and do pip install Django. Alright, so basically pip is like a package manager for, like the way we have a package manager for Node.js, we also have a package manager for PHP, which is like some composer. We also have it for Django, for Python in this case, which is pip. So pip. So basically that's what we use to install packages. As you can see, the package is being installed. All right, so let's wait for this to finish up actually. All right, good. So it is collecting, and while it is finishing up, you can head over to your browser. Sorry, over to your browser and go to Django website. There you can have documentation. So basically the best place to learn something is through documentation. Is always the best way to learn through. It's always the best way to learn when you're using documentation. All right. Sorry about the slow internet, I guess. So all right, so it is loaded up. So you can always go ahead and read the documentations. All right, so yeah, this is still loading. So let's wait for this to finish. All right, so look like our project just finished installing. So to confirm installation, there's something I used to do. We can go ahead and do Django admin. So when you do Django admin, this is going to list out all the Django's property. So basically, if you do Django admin and you find out that this is not showing, that means you have not installed the Django on your computer. All right, so let's go ahead and clear this. So let's start by creating a project. So before that, I want to head over. So I want to create my project, which is in my documents. All right, so to create a project in Django, we use the Django admin. So let's go ahead and check out the Django admin again. There's something I want to show you. Django admin. So in the Django admin there, you'll find out that we have something called start projects. So basically we're going to be using the start project. So let's do Django admin start project my blog. We can call this my blog. All right, so this has been created already. We can go ahead and seed into my blog. All right, so once you're there, I want to open this up with Visual Studio Code. So basically I can do code then dot. So this will open up on Visual Studio Code with the project inside of it. The reason why this works is because I added the parts of Visual Studio Code when installing Visual Studio Code. So if you did that, then you'll be able to do what I just did. Once it is open like this, so what we want to do is now run our server. So to run our server, you can go ahead and do Python manage.py. Okay, manage, sorry. Manage.py. All right. Oh, sorry. Manage.py. Sorry about that. Run server. All right. So this will run our server for us. So ignore the warnings for now. All right. So let's go ahead and copy this. And let's go to our browser. If you should run that, you'll notice Python should be loaded up on the screen. So let's run this. Oh, okay, so showing up Laravel. I guess I still have my Laravel projects running, so let me close this first. All right, then let's head over back here. Let's refresh this. Okay, good. So we have Django and which is version 3.2. All right, good. So you've installed Django and it's working perfectly. So if you did not get this screen, basically that means you've done something wrong. Please go ahead and review what you did or watch the video. Just backward it. All right, good. So what is next? Next we're gonna be doing now is since we have a project, we are going to be creating an app in our project. So for every Django project, there is an app in it. So basically you cannot have a web page created with Django without an app here. So an app cannot work, a Django project cannot work without an app. So it is like needed, it is essential. All right, so let's move to the next section. All right, so now let's look at what is an app. All right, so an app is a web application, that has a specific meaning in your project. So like I said it previously, Django projects can't work without an app. So basically an app beats up your project. So an app can be a part for like the user authentication. You can make it a user part. It can be an app on your project. Then we can have the blog part can be an app on your project, and so on and so forth. So in our case, we're going to be creating an app for our blog system. We named our project to my blog already, so we're going to create an app called blog, which is basically everything we are going to be building. The blog we're going to be building is going to be inside of it. It's just like that. So to build and to create an app in Django, we have to use our terminal. So let's go ahead and open up our terminal. You can head over I think view and click on terminal here, or you can do Ctrl J to open up your terminal. That is on Windows. I'm not sure about Mac actually. So once you're there, you can go ahead and do Python manage.py run not run server actually startup, then we can call it blog. The same way you can also use the Django startup, Django admin startup. All right, so let's go ahead and click on enter. You'll notice this created a project for us. All right, good. So you've created your app in this part. So let's move to the next part. All right, so now let's take a look at Django views. So Django views are basically, let me say, is a page like where we write our Python functions, which are later converted into or that takes in HTTP request, then returns them as a HTTP response. So basically, and they are created using Python functions. All right. So basically, you know how to create Python function, which we use the DFE, the dev. All right. So that is how we create Django views. So there are two ways of creating Django views actually. We can use the function-based view, or we can use a class-based view. So this tutorial we're going to be looking at the function-based view actually. To write our views, we write them in the views.py file. You can see the one I have opened right here. All right. So basically, that is how we create our view. So let's go ahead and create our first view. So we can go ahead and do create a function of index, then pass in request. All right, so we can pass in request inside of here. So once we pass in request, we can go ahead and return. Let's return HTTP response. So what's the response we are trying to return? We can go ahead and return something like hello world. Basically, hello world is the first thing we write. All right. So this HTTP response, we have to import it. So I just copied that right now. Then right here, I can go ahead and do from Django.http. All right, import HTTP response. So if I should save this, and by default, this should auto reload. I think. Okay, basically this doesn't work because we've not added the app to it. So in our URLs, all right. So for us to be able to point to this particular location here, we have to put a URL in this place. And as the name sounds, so the uniform resource locator is like is a part where we will point to in our app. So we have to create it inside our app in the blog, which is urls.py. All right, so in the urls.py, first one of these from Django.urls import. So what I'm trying to import, we want to import path. Okay, so then we can do from dot. So basically from the file folder, import the file views. So we are importing the file views here. Okay, so then we have to specify URL patterns. So URL patterns are like saying, okay, these are the URLs I want to have on my web page. So the first one I'm giving it is a path. So remember the path that we installed, that we imported. Path. So you want to say point to the first page. So you notice that for every web page, anyone that has, like, if you visit www.facebook.com, that is the like home page. So the anyone that comes like slash messages, that is like another endpoint. So basically our first page is this empty URL here. All right, so you can go ahead and point to views dot index. So this index is basically this index that we wrote here. All right, so views dot index, that we can specify a name for it. So index. So what does this name do? This name basically like saying, if you have a route here, like say chat, all right, and you give it a name index. So basically in the future you want to change this chat and you've added a route to like many pages, so you can basically come here and change it. Meanwhile, you represented it as name in your other files. So basically if this changes, it will not affect this one, because this one is still actually pointing to this. So that is why name is actually very, very good. All right, so once that is done, so the URL file you just created is specific for the blog itself. So basically this is a blog part, the blog app itself. So the URL is, like I said, is that it allows us to point to a location on our website. All right, and you notice that it is my blog here, there's a URL here. All right, so there's a URL in this URL here. This is where we're going to specify our app location. So basically we can go ahead and do something like, no, not in this space. You have to come over after parts here. We have to include, yeah. So you have to pass and include in this place, right? So once you pass and include, we can go ahead and do parts. Initially I would have done something like blog, but no, I want it to be our first page. So parts, right? Then we can go ahead and do trying to figure out, okay, include. So I just remembered I've not installed the Python IntelliSense. I think that is where I'm a little bit confused. Okay, import include, so we're including blog.urls. All right, so I got the blog.url. Go back to this page. You can see it has auto reloaded. So let's head over here and refresh. You can see we have hello world. So basically what we passed inside of this place is being read out. So if I should say hello world DevPrecious, and I head over back to, sorry, DevPrecious. So you notice this will like refresh. Head over back there, refresh this. So yes, okay, I save this. Okay, you know what? Let's kill the server, and since we edited everything, let's run the server actually. So Control C to kill the server. Let's rerun it. Okay, no error, refresh, and you can see we have that. Let's try and add another thing and see if it works fine. Okay, so it's refreshed by itself. Refresh. Okay, good. So the server is up. So let's return back to our hello world. Good. So now in this place we've explained what and how or what it views to. Now let's take a look at templates. So the templates here is a HTML file that shows what we want on our web page. Basically, if you're trying to learn this Django here. All right, so let's take a look at Django templates. So templates are basically an HTML file that is like being rendered out instead of this HTTP response that we're getting. Because in this HTTP response, we have to have different pages like home, about, and so on. So basically, I should go ahead and copy all of this. Or I should put this here. Then we can go ahead and have something like about and contact. Okay, save this. Then in our URL here, I can go ahead and copy this. So this should point to the contact, and this will be contact, then there should be blog. I'll copy this and just paste this here, save this. All right, and when we have this, we can say h1, then we can call it contact. Use the h1, save this, and we should head over back here and I head over to contact. All right, so we have an error initially that says, sorry, I'm trying to figure out this error. Okay, it says path. All right, yeah, so in the URLs here we have to specify a comma, right? So to separate them, and it said blog.views as no attribute blog. What did I call it in that place? Okay, I called it an about. Oh god. Okay, this is about actually. So this should be about. Yep, I think, yeah, okay, so everything's working. Refresh this. Contact is not there. So let's try about. So you're having an error that says about. It's not available. So I think the issue is this, right? So we should refresh. Yeah, so it's the slash that is there that is causing it. So you can see we have an about, and our h1 response that we passed there is actually working. So we don't want to have that type of thing in our response. We don't want to be using response. So that's why we make use of templates in Django. All right, so to create our template in Django, let's go to our blog here. So basically I cover everything like this. All right, so cover everything. Go to your blog, your app folder, create a folder here called templates. So inside templates here, we can go and create a file called index.html. So let's create a basic HTML. You can say my blog h1 my blog. Okay, save this, and all right, in the views we have to update to the views actually. So basically we don't have to make use of this again. So what we are going to make use is from let's first take a look at this example first. So let's make use of from Django .templates. Okay, so we can basically import something from templates. You can import. So there are different ways of doing it. I want to first show you this way. Import loader. All right, good. So when we are having this return here at the top, we can gotta do template equals to loader dot set. Is this set? Sorry, dot get template actually. So get templates, and what's our get template? It's in the index.html. So this will automatically look into the templates folder, because that's why we must limit a template, right? If it's another name from templates, it's not going to work. So you must make sure you limit template. All right, so when we have HTTP response, you can go and do return the response of template.render. All right, save this, and let's see if there's any error. There's no error here, so we should go back to the home page. It said template does not exist. The.html. I think we can go ahead and specify something like template slash this. Okay, this does not exist either. Basically, I feel like we've made mistake when creating. So inside the template folders here, I believe we have to create a folder for the name of the project again. Then you can put this inside of here. All right, it's not actually a mobile. I believe we can structure it out like this. So let's do blog, refresh, and we have does not exist blog .html template. All right, so after looking at it, then I found out I actually made a mistake. So I actually look very stupid for this mistake. Notice this is HRML, not HTML. Oh, God. Alright, so not here. So here we have to change this to HTML. Head over back there, refresh, and we actually get an error because we have to specify our app in our settings.py. So the settings.py is in the one that is in your project directory. So this settings.py. So right here we have to specify our projects. Basically, we can go ahead and do blog, save this, then we save that, head over back to our browser, refresh. You can see you have my blog. You can also go ahead and do something like blog dot apps dot blog config. If you should save it and also go back there, it's the same thing. So how did I get this app distance? So basically we are saying in the blog directory here, go to the apps and select this blog configs. So basically that's what we are doing. Nothing special. All right, good. So we've done that, and we can go ahead and do that for our next page, like about.html. And also let me just do Control Shift S, save as contacts.html. So for the contacts, we can go ahead and do contact, and then you can go ahead and do h1 contacts. Okay, then for the about, we can go ahead and do about h1. You can do about us. All right, good. So when we have our views here, same thing we have here, we can copy this, paste this here. So instead of this one, we can make it about. Then here we can render template dot render. All right, same here. This is for contacts. We can get and do template dot render. Save this and let's see if you have any error. So no error. Refresh, works. So let's go to about works. So let's go to contacts. So yeah, good. So basically we've worked it this, and last thing I want us to do is let's create our migration so that these errors will disappear actually. So let's kill the server here and let's do python manage.py migrate. All right, so this will create the migration for us in database. So we can go ahead and run our server back. Then you notice those errors have disappeared. All right, good. All right, so now in this section we're going to be looking at Django models. All right, so remember the migrations that we did in that place. So this migration here, which database did it actually migrate to? So basically, once for every project that you create, there's a DB SQLite here. All right, so basically we can open this. You can install an extension to open this. So this comes, the Django comes with the SQLite by default. So basically that is where our database is at right now. Right, so to get started so before we get started, I want to first change this long journey kind of stuff here. So rather than doing this, we can go ahead and do return render. You can see the render is there, and by the way, I just installed Python on Visual Studio Code, so that's why I'm having the autocomplete. So we can go ahead and do blog slash index.html. all right, so let me just cut this, save this, and I refresh. I should refresh. You can see we still have the same thing. So basically this one is actually more shorter than the previous one. So it's going to be about, and this is going to be contact. All right, good. So basically everything works fine. Let's see, there's no errors, everything works fine. So sorry about that. All right, so now to create a model, we have the model files here. So what are models? Models are basically what allows us to interact with our database. All right, so once you create a model, you are going to migrate them. So basically, those are what models are. All right, so let's take a look at models here. Let's create our first model. So first model here, we use a class instead. So class, we can say post. All right, so post, so we want to pass in models dot model. All right, so we're going to pass in model. Then once you pass in model here, why is this showing this? Sorry, let me just exit. Okay, so models of model here. So first one to pass in is our block title. So what should be our block title? We can go ahead and models dot child feed. So child feed is a character field. So you are saying you want a character field instead. So for that character field, we can go ahead and specify a max length. So length that it won't pass. What's this? A max length. All right. Equals to, let's make it 225. All right, so we can basically copy this for. So for this one, we can do blog description. All right, for the blog description, we can use models dot text field. And basically, I'm not sure text field accepts anything. Okay, so it's adjust anything, but we don't need to specify anything because it's basically a description box, so it is going to be taking countless of text. All right, so basically go ahead and save that. And what we are going to do is now, since we've made changes in our model, we have to make a migration. So we have to do python manage.py make migrations. Click enter. Then this is going to migrate our post for us, as you can see. So once that is migrated, we have to do python manage.py migrate. So we just said we can create a migration, then after that finally migrate it to the database. All right, good. So basically the idea here is that this is basically telling us create table which is of a name post, then inside it will add an ID, so that ID it will be automatically added, and we want to specify a blog title and a blog description. Basically that is what we did in this model. All right, good. All right, so moving on ahead, let's add some blog title. So to add some blog title, we can CLS is there are two ways we can actually make. For now, let's make use of the Django shell. Then we are going to create an admin table for it actually. So we create an admin super user that will be able to do that. So Django automatically comes with a super user, which is an admin interface that we can do and see all our models that we created. So for now, let's make use of a shell. So I'm just going to drag this shell a little bit up. All right, so when this is up, we're going to go ahead and do python manage.py shell. All right, so it's gonna open up the shell for us. So when the shell is up, we can go ahead and do from post.model. So we are saying from that post model, okay, import posts. All right, so we have another that says posts. Okay, not from post model actually, from blog. So from that blog file, select model. From inside that model, then select the posts. Okay, models, sorry, I've been doing mistake recently. Okay, good. Models, make sure you check your spellings there. We want to go ahead and do posts dot objects dot all. So you're saying select all the objects. Like I see we have a query set of and that is empty. That is to say there's no data in our database actually. So we can go ahead and do posts equals to posts, select posts, then inside post we can go ahead and select, first thing we give it our blog title, my blog. Okay, blog title my blog, then we gave it blog description. Let's say hello, welcome to my blog. All right, so let's close that. Once you've done that, no error, then we can go and do post.save. So basically that has saved already. Then if you should go ahead and do post dot objects dot all, okay, dot values. As we have query set id1, blog title my blog, blog description hello, welcome to my blog. Right, good. So with that, let's just go ahead and add some blog posts. You can say second hello what. Okay, so basically we're going to do post.save. Save. Go up again. You can see we have 2 posts now. All right, good. So now let's return this in the browser. Right, so you can just drag this down back. So in our views here, when we have index, because we want to render it in the index here, we can go ahead and do click enter this place. So from here, first of all, we have to do from the models file, import import posts. So initially, what is it? Am I not spelling import post? Okay, import post. So initially, people import this stuff one by one, but it may, because I'm going to have a lot of classes inside it, I just do import like the last day. So basically, this will import everything in the file. All right, good. So we can go ahead and do posts equals to, all right, post equals to posts, which we have already because we added it, objects dot all. So basically the same thing that we wrote in that place. All right, so we have object dot all. Let's specify dot values here. All right, then we can go ahead and return this actually. So before we start returning them, like using the for each, this we are going to just make use of this one here. So we are going to output equals to this empty string. Then we can go ahead and do for x in posts. All right, so for x in posts, we can go ahead and do output plus equals to, so x, then this, or not that, sorry, then this, we can go ahead and do select blog title. All right, so return http response. So instead of this, let's return an http response, which will be outputs instead. So you should save this. I will load. So we should come here and I will load this. You can see we have my blog. If we should, like, let's try blog description. Reload. Right, refresh. You can see we have second and my blog here. All right, good. So we've learned how to add data to our database and how to render it, but basically it's now you're going to be rendering it actually. But for now, this is how we're going to do it. So let's move on to the next section. All right, so moving on, let's go ahead and modify our view. So basically everything we have here, we're going to delete this, or we can just Ctrl Z or this. If you like, you can comment it out, so in case you want to make reference back to it. So I'm just gonna leave it at this value. So what's that, this value here, what we want to do is pass in a context. So this context is going to be a variable. All right, so inside the variable we're going to pass in posts. So basically I'm looking at how to pass data to our view. So say posts, then I'll go ahead and call post here. And if you notice that we should, over this render, we have requests, which we have template name, then context, which is a map. Right, so we can go ahead and specify our context here, which is context, the variable context. So if I should save this, let's confirm if we have an error. There's no error, so meaning we are good to go. So where we have this, basically we can go ahead and do so we use this sign for I wanted to say Laravel, so we use this for Django. So we use the curly bracket and the percentage. All right, so inside we can go ahead and do for inside we are allowed to write Python logic inside of it. We're for x in alright, so for x or what, for x in post, so we call it post. Alright, so we can go ahead and do bold. Let's make the title bold. So to render it out, to use double curly braces, there's a x dot blog title. Let's not use x, let's use something reasonable. Post. So for post in posts, hopefully you understand. So plural, singular and plural. Then again we can have a div that says posts dot blog description. Okay, so right here we can go ahead and now specify end for. Okay, beautiful. So you should save this. It isn't just formatted that back. So refresh, I can see now we have title, description, title, then our description here. Good. So basically what we did here was we edited our views. You understand, we added a value, a database query set to it, then we rendered it out in the browser. And initially I believe we don't need to specify these values here, so if I should delete these values, let's save this, everything still works fine. Refresh, because we still get the same thing, so we don't need to specify the value inside of it. Right, so like I said the last time, we're going to be looking at other ways to add value. So let's quit this, and you notice that when you do Python manage.py, it shows us the list also. So this list here, we want to make use of something called create super user. So looking for super user here. I can't seem to find the create super user here. But let's get and do something like create super user. Click enter. Okay, so it's actually working. So you can go ahead and give our username should be admin, then specify your email address. I'm just gonna put my email address here, then password. Yeah, so I wrote password here, so password didn't match. Yes, good. So you can see super user has been created successfully, meaning if I should head over here and I head over to /admin, because we have an admin login page. So my username is admin. That's not admin, then password. Good. So you can see we've logged in. See, we have groups and users. So for our model to show you, we have to register our model. So to do that, head over back here where we have admin. So we have to register our model. We have to do admin.site.register. So what do you want to register? I want to register the posts. Right, so this will auto import it for us. Save this. Let's see if there's any error. So there's no error here. I should refresh. Let's see, we have our post here. So you can see the two posts that we have here. I should go ahead and add the posts from admin panel. Amazing. Save this. You can see it has been added. I should head over back here. Not here. What is? Okay, it's in this place. So let's go ahead and point to it again, and you can see from admin panel. Amazing. Good. Right, so next we are going to be looking at how to add blog from our web page in this place instead of using the admin. Alright, so now let's go to our index page. So like at the bottom here, we can go ahead and have a BR. So we can have a tag. So this a tag here, let's point it to add. Alright, so we can say add new, sorry, not here, add new posts. Alright, that is to say we have to go to our URLs. So the URLs in the blog, the app URL itself. Copy this, going to name this URL. Oh, sorry, not URL, add actually. And yeah, we'll get an error that says add has not been created, so we have to create add. So right under here, we're going to do dev add requests. Okay, there we can return render requests, not request. Okay, our blog. So this is add.html. Okay, so you can save that. Then in the blog here, create a file called add.html. Alright, so once we have this file.html here, we're gonna create a file called add posts. We're gonna have a form. Method should be post. We're gonna have input field. What is this? Sorry. Okay, input field. Sorry. Alright. So we know this is tag 2. Then we want a text area for our description. Okay, good. So the server has crashed because of the errors. So let's kill it and rerun it again. So we have no errors. So let's head over back there, refresh, add new posts, and we have an error that says add. Let's go to our URLs again. So our URLs here, add name, add, then current path I did not match any. I think I have to specify this because in this place I added that. So let's refresh. Good. So we have this. And don't forget, for your form we have to specify a button. Okay, so a button, let's use double BR, so there will be more space. A button that says post, then type is going to be submit. Alright, so there's something I wanted to say again. So refresh this page, and once you are in, let's go back to index.html. So instead of using this here, we can go ahead and use this add percentage. You can do URL, then add. So if I should refresh this and I click, you can see we are back here. So basically what that it is it picked the name of the URL here. So that is, say we should add this, like add a access to it, save it, and I refresh this. If I should click on add new post, you see it will carry me to this URL here. So basically it makes it very, very easy. Okay, good. Now once that is done already, in our form we have to point our action to, where's the form? Okay, we have to point our action to where we are sending our request. So we're sending our request to add posts. Alright, so the method is post by default, and before we can set the post request, we have to make sure that we are passing a CSRF token. So this CSRF token is used for is a prevention for hacking. Alright, so I think SSXXSX, which is XSSX, prevention for hacking. So that is it. So CSRF underscore token. Alright, good. So basically if I should refresh this and I do Control U, you see this is a hidden text field with a value. So this value are auto generated randomly. Okay, good. So once that is that, let's head back to our view. Now we have to capture the post request. So in the URLs first, we have to set the URLs first, which is this is add posts. Okay, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to change this to add posts. So we have to create add posts actually. Okay, we don't have it. We don't need to return the template because it's a request to assign it to it. So dev add post request. All right, good. So we can go ahead and do blog title is equals to request dot post blog title. All right, so before this will actually work, we have to copy this. I'll go back to our add. We have to specify a name for it, paste that here, and also this one is blog description. So that's how we capture our post request from our fields. So you can just copy this and make this blog description. Okay, good. So once that is done, we can go ahead and do post equals to, so this is a singular because it's just one thing. Post the model post, then okay, open it up, then we can go ahead and specify blog that blog title equals to blog title, then blog description equals to blog description. All right, so then we can go ahead and do post dot save. All right, post dot save, then we can return HTTP response, then redirect. Okay, direct. I think we have to import HTTP response redirect actually. So here is going to be HTTP response redirect. I think I can copy this and paste it right here. Okay, so then we also have to import reverse. So you see why we need that from Django.urls import reverse. All right, so once that is that, we're going to specify reverse. So where do we want to reverse to? We want to reverse to the index page. So we are telling it once everything is done, return back to the index page as ABS APC. Right, let's see if there's any error. So there was error here before. Let's run this. We still have an error. I believe we forgot to add a comma. Yeah, you can see it's even showing red. So comma. Okay, so everything works fine. Refresh. Blog title from admin panel or from web page. Hello from web. So let's go ahead and click on posts, and we have an error that says add posts. So okay, we only have add posts, then I'm redirected to add posts here. So yeah, add posts, yeah, now our URLs wait, how are we moving to add posts here? Okay, so initially it is actually moving to add posts here, so meaning in our URL I have to specify add post here. All right, something like this. Okay, let's go back. Let's send a push request. I can see it worked, and we got from web page hello from the web. All right, good. So you've now learned how to save data to our database. All right, let's move to the next section. So good, let's look at how we can delete record from our database. So in the process of deleting records, you're going to learn how to add passing values to the URL. Okay, so in our index.html here, so after this stuff here, we can have an a tag here. So an a tag that says delete slash. Once just delete slash, they want to point to the ID of what we're deleting. So deleting post dot ID. Here we can go and specify delete. We should save this, and I head over back to my browser and I refresh and say delete. Over there you see delete in this side here. So we have delete 1, delete 2, delete 3, and delete 4. So basically that's how we pass it. So in our views now, before our views, let's go to our URLs first. So in our URLs here, we'll just copy this. I can call this delete. Then we have to say we want to accept an integer, so an integer ID. Okay, good. So yeah, I can just go ahead and change this to delete actually. So in our views here, we have to, don't forget, we have to create delete. So delete requests. So request, so apart from requesting, we have to request because we are passing the URL here. Because we are passing, I forgot the comma again. Because we're passing the ID here, I mean. So we have to pass the ID in this place also. ID. Okay, good. Alright, once that is that, first we want to do is post, get a post by that ID. So you can write a post dot objects. So these are we get single posts dot objects dot get ID equals to ID, that ID at the top. Alright, then we're gonna do post dot delete. Alright, so if that is successful, let's just copy this code here. An error, delete indentation, and yep, so we should be good to go. So what we did here is after the requests here. So after the request, we get an ID. So that ID now we have to cross-check if the ID is available in database. If it's available, then to delete it, then return us back to the index. So let's refresh this page and let's delete the new post that we added. Delete. And you can see the post attribute has no attribute object. So I think I believe it's objects instead. Alright, so let's head over back there. Everything is set here, so let's delete this one because it has been deleted. Meanwhile, in the index.html here, when we have this kind of URL, I believe we can do something like this, where we have the percent is percentage actually, that we have delete comma what's the name, post dot ID. So save this and let's refresh. So we have there's no comma. Okay, let's remove the comma first. Refresh. Alright, so there's no comma needed. I can see we see have the same thing. You can delete and everything still works. So the next section we're gonna be looking at how to update our posts. Alright, so for the updates now, so I believe we can copy this right in the front here. We can make this update. Okay, update. We can point to update here. Save this in our URL. Alright, so in our URL first, let's go ahead and create a URL that points to the updates like the way we did to this delete. So it's going to be updates. Alright, so in our views now, we have to create the update. Update is going to be request, also ID. Alright, so we have to request the ID just like we did the delete. Then we have to say posts equals to posts, the same query that we wrote, object dot get ID is equals to ID. Alright, so once that is done, we're going and do render this. So let's pass it into the context first. Context, so you can say post is equals to posts. So again, I do render, return, render. So what are we trying to render here? We're trying to render request, then blog update .html. Save this. So the what we're gonna do is this add here. I'm going to do Ctrl Shift S. I'm going to save this as update. Okay, so we should check our browser. We have no error. So let's refresh. Click on update, and we are now the update page actually. So for the update page now, we have to fill in the necessary stuff. So right here, we have to fill in value. Okay, value should be equals to, because we have just one data that we're returning, we don't need to do for loop again. All right, so blog title, and I can just go ahead and copy that, and I can paste it right here. So this text area, we don't need this value, it's not necessary. So you can just go ahead and do blog description. Save this, refresh, update. Okay, yeah, this won't work actually. You know why? Because in our views we did not pass the context. I just remember that. So we have to pass context. Not like that, like this. Check if there's any error, no errors. Refresh, can see we have it. And also update this one. Good. Now for the update here, we have to point this to update it, then let's say update posts slash the URL posts.id. So the ID here. So in the URLs here, we can copy this. All right, you can copy this, and you can go ahead and do like we did this add to do. We gotta do update. What did I call it? Okay, update posts slash update post slash ID. So it's going to be update posts now. All right, good. So and let's go ahead and do update post. So this is basically where we are going to write in the logic. The function of update posts, we're taking a request, an ID, okay. Then the same thing that we have here. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to paste that right there. Fix the indentation. Okay. Once that is copied, we can get and call post equals to post dot objects dot get. So are we getting ID of that ID? So the particular post that we're grabbing by ID. Then we can get a post dot blog title should be equal to the new blog title that we're giving it. Post dot blog description should be equal to the new blog description that we're giving it. You can get and do post dot save. Right, so this will save our post. Then we can go return, basically what we did right here, return back to indexed. Right, save this, check if there's any error. There's no error. Let's refresh this. I can see updated in this place. I should click on post, and you can see updated there, meaning our post has been updated. Now you've learned how to create basic code application using Django: create, read, update, delete. All right, beautiful. All right, so let's take a look at Django template tags. So the one we're going to be looking at is the extend tag. So extend tag basically allows us to add a parent template for our current template. So meaning where we have this blog here, I should go ahead and create a template called main.html. Okay, I can go ahead and have our HTML here, call this blog. Okay, and right here we can go ahead and do this. So we can go ahead and create a block element. So block, and our blog is going to be, let's call this main. All right, so it's called more main, we also have to end block. So end block, save this. Once that is done already, then we can go to, let's just use index.html for example. We can cut this out and we can delete all of this. All right, so you can delete all of this now. We can do extends. So what are we trying to extend? We are trying to extend main.html. So we are saying extend the main.html and specify a block. So what did I call our block? I called it main. All right, so inside there we can go ahead and specify, add our HTML here, and we can go ahead and end block. So if I should go ahead and save this and I refresh, so we have another that says template.net exists main. Okay, yes, our own is in blog/main. Refresh, I can see the title is still there, blog. So if I should do Ctrl U, you can see we are extending from that place. So basically that's how you use extend. So you won't have to be like repeating yourself when you're creating this type of things, like when you're working with edition template, like template designs. You won't have to like disturb yourself when you're doing that kind of stuff, right? Because one thing to notice that we also have include tags. So include tags basically allows you to include another template inside your template. So for example, if we should go to this blog, let's create a footer.html. We can go ahead and say footer page. Then we can go ahead and include this footer page just by doing include it anywhere actually. So inside there, can do include blog / what's the name, footer.html. Save this and I head over back there. Refresh. Okay, I'm having an error basically. I think it has to be inside of the block since we are extending. Yeah, good. So we have footer there. At this one, I can just wrap this with H3. So it moves to the new line footer page. So that footer page there, you can add it to all the available pages. Like this one, paste this one here, and also this one. So you notice that we don't need the extend when you are working with those ones. So contacts, we don't need the extend because we are basically including a page, we are not extending in it. All right, so moving to the one part, let's look at how we can add CSS. All right, so to add CSS here in our folder here, you have to create another folder called static. So basically this is like tell Python that Django that okay, our files are loaded in this place. So inside the statics again, I create a folder called blog. Inside that blog, I create a file called start.css. Start.css basically you can go ahead and give a background color of red. So how do we include that in our main? So let's go to the main instead. So to do that, at the top here, we have to specify load static. All right, so once you specify load static here, we have to go ahead and do link rel style sheets. Okay, so your href here, we can go ahead and specify the same thing. All right, not some load static actually, we just have to specify the same tag and add percent, and we use this static keyword. Then our file is in blog / style.css. So save this, head over back there, refresh. You can see basically our style is actually like part. For some reason it's not showing. For me, I do think it's like a catch system. So let's try and open it in incognito mode and see what happens. Alright, so nothing's actually happened, meaning our css is not loading. So we have to look at our settings.py. Alright, so like I said, we have to go to our settings file. So let's go to settings.py. Sorry, so you can see we specify static URL static. So this is the documentation. So go ahead and copy that, then just like right below here you can see it has been declared already. It's actually there. So okay, good. So it's working now. I feel like the reason why it was not working because I should save this and I head over back there and refresh. Like I said previously, I believe it's a catchy system, kind of error like that. So like if I should go to my Chrome instead, so let's go to my Chrome and let's paste this here. You can see it's working. So I believe it's actually like a catchy system or catch. In case you don't understand what I'm saying, this is what I'm trying to say. A catch. Okay, so basically I believe that is the problem there. So yep, that is how to load images. So how do we load JavaScript also? The same way, it's our static here in blog here. I say script.js. Alright, so now you can see alert hello world. So how do we load this? In our main.html also scripts, right? src. It's going to be static blog /scripts.js. Save this. Let's try this out. Refresh. As we have a hello world there. Good. And one thing I want to also look at is how to load images. So I'm going to copy an image from my folder picture. So I have this picture here. Copy it. Go to my project, which is my blog. Alright, so inside the blog, static blog with picture, which is a png res.png. And yep, we can go ahead and load the image. Let's load it in the index. Like at the top here, you can see image static blog, then res.png. You'll notice that we get an error actually. You can see. So we need to load static here because we are using the static tag. Load static. Refresh, and you can see extend must begin with first tag in template. Okay, let's solve this. Refresh. Okay, it was begin as a first tag, so let's add this here. Maybe we can add this here. Hello world. Yep, so my image is showing now. Good. So you've learned how to work with static files in Django also. Alright, so basically we've come to the end of the tutorial. Alright, so like I said, this is a crash course for beginners. So if you're actually interested in learning Django like full course, please comment down below. Like the video, share the video. Just make sure you comment down below, tell me that you want a full video there. I'll make a full video for you guys. So it's been all good. It is DevPrecious as usual. See you next time.